Today is Wednesday, the end of October. This is my first run at my main job, so I'm in a Ford F-350, probably one of our worst trucks now because the steering wheel is still at 45 degrees to the left.
Stay in the left 3 lanes.
And I'm not sure, I think they're waiting. I said, needs alignment. And the boss says, but I don't think it's pulling to one side. I said, well, it's slightly pulling to the right, but the steering wheel should not be like this, right? Okay, we'll do it when oil changes due. And that talk was like 3 months ago, and it's still like this. So, but it drives okay, except these two older Fords we have, they don't have any cruise control, whereas our truck 3, like the third truck, is a Ram 1500, so it has, you know, all the modern conveniences like cruise control, because I like using that one. For example, now I'm driving 16 kilometers, 10 miles into Airdrie. So we're heading north on Deerfoot Trail, Highway 2. And my delivery is a pretty easy load. It's auto scrubber, like a small machine, probably, I don't know, 3 feet long, 2.5 feet wide, you know, 2.5 feet tall. They used to scrub the floors. It has like a rotating brush underneath, like a circular brush, and then they put water inside, and so it cleans everything. Very handy machine, and it's not heavy. And when you deliver it with man, the headlights on this thing are really bad. I can hardly see the white dots. Like there's no lines, because I think they just refinished. They resurfaced this part over here. And we're just passing Cross Iron Mills on the right, New Horizon Mall, and then Bass Pro Shop. Yeah, the headlights are terrible here. I should mention this to the boss, because, you know, on all the trucks quite often headlights are out of alignment. So like they're working, but they're not aimed properly, which is very important now since we're starting in this complete darkness. So it's gonna stay dark until past 8. And so yeah, this auto scrubber, it's super easy to move on a pickup truck, because you just push it against the guardrail behind the cab and put one strap around it, that's it. But sometimes you have to do it on a Freightliner, you know, our tilt deck truck, and it's kind of like a nightmare, because this thing, it's so flimsy plastic. There's no tie down points. I think once I had to move it on a Freightliner. I had to use like 3 straps, you know, just for such a light, small machine. But because it's so flimsy, you don't want to damage it, right? I hate loads like that. I had something like that when I was trucking. You know, something that you have to tie down, but it's so flimsy that once you start tightening your strap or your chain, things start breaking, you know, so you cannot properly secure it. So this is high beams, this is low beams, no difference. Alright, so next time I'll think twice about taking this particular truck when I have to drive at night. You see over here, there's no light posts. If you go south on Deerfoot, or you go on Stony Trail, the bypass, they have light posts, and so the road is much more easy to see. So these poor guys are, the semi trucks are looking ahead, trying to see if the scale is open, because there's a big scale here on the east side, right? And I never once, you know, when I'm driving a Freightliner, like now I don't have to come in because I'm under 4,000 kilos, my gross weight, 4 tons, but you see how much easier it's with the light post here. So I don't have to come in with a pickup truck, but when I have a Freightliner, I have to stop by. And never once did I run into a situation where, let's say, you know, I'm slowing down, trying to see if the light will go off before I turn in. Let's say the light is flashing, I'm slowing down, I'm driving, you know, 80 kilometers an hour. It always keeps flashing. Like it's, I don't know, there's not that many trucks. And so they keep pulling everybody in, and then it's 10 kilometers an hour inside the scale. So it takes like 2 hours to go from the start to finish. Wait, did we pass it? Did we pass the scale? I think we did, because it's just north of the Cross-Iron Mills. We are already inside the Airdrie. Lots of trucks park here overnight on this road, because there's a Tim Hortons, and I think there's a McDonald's over there.
Take the exit, then keep left onto Highway 567 west toward Airdrie. Keep left onto Highway 567 west toward Airdrie.
So I went to the gym yesterday, had a pretty good workout. So it's Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, but Monday, Wednesday, Friday I want to do hiking or biking, and so I brought my hiking poles with me to work, and I found a couple of good routes just near my work where I can walk, you know, for like half an hour. Oh, and I brought my weighted vest. I have 7 packs of sand in there. Each pack is 4 pounds, so 28 pounds, which feels okay, not too heavy. But I'm gonna start adding 1 bag of sand each week. So next Monday we're gonna have 8 sandbags in there in the vest, so it's gonna be 32 pounds. And then the week after that, 36, and then 40, 44, 48.
Continue straight, then use the right lane to take a slight right turn onto Gateway Rise.
Yeah, the plan is eventually maybe to get to the maximum, which is 70 pounds.
In 250 meters, take a slight right turn onto Gateway Rise.
But what happens is that when you have too much weight in that vest, it's hard to put it on, you know, because you have to slide it over your head. And imagine, let's say you have 70 pounds, so you have to lift 70 pounds. You know, it becomes hard. But right now at what did I say, 28 pounds, it already feels heavy, you know. But I love this vest because it has Velcro straps. You put it on and you can make it tight so that your body carries most of the weight, not your shoulders. Because sometimes, you know, at first when I tried this vest, I didn't tighten the Velcros properly, and so there was a lot of weight on my neck and shoulders, and they started, you know, hurting after like 5 minutes. And then I realized that, yeah, the straps must be really tight, then the weight is transferred to your body instead of your neck all the time. And it's super useful, you know. I read somewhere that walking with a weight
Use the right lane to take a slight right turn onto Gateway Rise.
is one of the better exercises. That's what, you know, military, is it this one? That's why military train with, you know, those bags packed full of ammunition and guns and stuff like that when they go hiking somewhere in the boonies.
At the next stop sign, turn right.
Alright, I think the guy said it's somewhere here. Yeah, I sent him a message so that I'm coming, and he called me back and he says it's somewhere near Canadian Tire. Just, if I'm not there, leave the machine near the tire cage, sorry, tire cage.
At the stop sign, turn right onto Gateway Road Northeast, then turn left onto Gateway Drive Northeast.
Oh, so it's not Canadian Tire.
Turn left onto Gateway Drive Northeast, then turn right. In 300 meters, turn right.
Some kind of moron is following me. Like every turn I make, this, like, where the fuck are you going? So which way is north, which way is south? I have no idea. I think north is this way.
Turn right, then the destination is on your left.
Tread Pro. It's probably this one. He said tires. Yeah, that's my
The
unit number.
destination is on your left.
That's my unit number. Let's go. Wow, what happened to this guy? Look at his rear. Holy mackerel. Well, turns out the tire place was not my unit, but it was the empty unit next to it. That's why he said east of the tire cage. But so I dropped it in the proper places the guy requested. Sent him a picture. He said, thanks, I'm 3 minutes out. All right,
In 1 kilometer,
that's
turn left onto Main Street North.
too late. I have places to see. I have people to see, places to... What's the expression? Oh, that's why. Maybe my windshield was dirty. That's why it was hard to see. So anyway, now a not so pleasant load. I hate this one, honestly. It's called insulation vacuum. First of all, the machine, it's pretty heavy, and it only has 2 wheels, and then there's 2 handles, probably weighs like 100 pounds. And so it's not easy. It's always resisting when you try to bring it on the tailgate, because there's a little like ramp in there, you know, and it's not exactly flat. And so when you try to roll it on, it keeps bouncing back. I mean, and then there's 4 barrels with hoses, which are not heavy, but they're just, you know, awkward. And sometimes there's when you deliver this, you need to bring insulation bags. That's what they use, you know, when they hook up those bags to the machine. Basically what it does, it sucks out some kind of a material, let's say, I don't know,
At the next light,
not asbestos, but something, you know, some old insulation that you want to get rid of. And then actually yesterday I picked up something that also had the word insulation in it, but it's an insulation blower. Like, what the heck? That was like a machine also with some hoses, and it had its own pallet jack. And I asked the customer, I said, what did you guys use it
at the
for?
light, turn left onto Main Street North. Then take the first left onto Veterans Boulevard Northeast.
And they said, to blow insulation. And I said, you mean like to suck it out? They said, no, to blow additional insulation into our attic. Like, man.
At the light, use the left 2 lanes to turn onto Veterans Boulevard Northeast.
Are you sure? Where are we going this way?
Turn left.
Highway 2 is over there. Well, must be the proper way, I don't know. Yeah, it's a bit chilly. +6, which is what, 35, 36 F, 277 Kelvin, I think. I like the taillights on this Dodge minivan. Look pretty nifty. You know, my beef with auto manufacturers is they always keep changing lights, especially the tail lights. You know, giving some weird shapes.
At the next light, turn right.
And then of course the tail light costs like $6,000 to replace, you know. Whereas why all transport trucks and all transport trailers have had the same design, I don't know, since 50s probably, or 60s, when it's just a 5-inch, or is it 3-inch? I think it's even a 3-inch. 3-inch around.
Turn right onto Edmonton Trail Northeast.
3-inch around light that you can find at any truck stop. You know, something happens, you just pop it out, put another one in, you're done. And why around? Because look at all our lights. Why all the lights around? Because that's the most visible shape. You know, they don't change the lights, right? Like to make them look cute.
In about 1.5 kilometers, merge onto Highway 2 South.
They're just functional, you know? Kind of like you see on the bus, school bus, they use round lights. But all modern cars, you'll be hard pressed to find round lights.
In 1 kilometer, merge onto Highway 2 South.
Ah, so it is here. For some reason I thought Highway 2 was on that side over there. Yeah, this is Edmonton Trail, but in Airdrie. And then when you enter Calgary, you also have Edmonton Trail, but it's like 20 kilometers from here. And here it just connects with Highway 2 going south.
Merge onto Highway 2 South.
Bye bye, Airdrie. Heading to Calgary. Yeah, to get that ugly insulation vacuum. Oh, I called the guy. I said I'm coming in half an hour.
For about 21 kilometers, continue straight.
And he said, well, the school is in session today, so you won't be able to get through the parking lot. But call me, I'm here. Call me when you're on site, and we'll figure out how to load this stuff, which is an interesting comment for somebody who's not Canadian, but or not from Alberta, because for the past 3 weeks we had all teachers on strike. So schools were closed because teachers were complaining about that class size was too big, the pay was not enough, and it's all trade union. So whenever you have trade union, you have trouble. They don't care about the rest of us. They just don't want to work. They want more money. Ideal, I think. I know there'll be some negative comments, but each time I deal with somebody, like let's say I'm loading when I was a trucker, right? When I'm loading and the place is run by a trade union, like let's say Baltimore Port, people are walking like pregnant flies, you know. There's nobody to be found. They don't want to help. No desire to work whatsoever. I see the taillights on this thing, just vertical. On the Honda before, it's like this. I hate the Honda taillights. Man, it's getting warm in here. The heater does work. And here we have a commercial truck with a 53-foot trailer, and of course you have highly visible round lights, and they're double, right? So there's 4 of them. You see this one in front of me? Beautiful. That's what it should be. Yeah, they're 3-inch, I'm pretty sure. Oh, now it became much easier to see, because there's lines in here. On the opposite side because of new construction. They have no lines between lanes, and it was darker, of course, because it was, you know, half an hour ago. Oh yeah, that's the scale. Okay, nobody home. Promised some snow last weekend, but then they changed the forecast. But I can see that the sky does not look good. It looks like it wants to snow, like it's all covered in clouds. Okay, this is Highway 566, Balzac. I remember, I don't know if I think I was telling that story on one of my Uber Lyft videos, but yeah, once I picked up 3 guys, I think they were from Belgium, and they said on the way to the airport, could you please stop by the Balzac sign, where this little town, it's like a village. And I said, why is that? And they said, well, because in our language, Balzac, it sounds or very similar to ball sack. And they said, to us it's very funny. Okay, so they took I took their picture with that Balzac sign in the back. Some heavy traffic once I cross Airport Trail. It's very windy today. See the brake lights. Wow, the traffic stops here. That's gonna be fun. Probably an accident. Normally it doesn't start slowing down so early, like near the airport. Usually it's, know, near McKnight. That's why it wants me to take McKnight, because then I bypass heavy traffic going to Memorial. Yeah, you go, girl. Don't mind the lights. I see some flashing light in the distance. It's either construction or an accident. But the light is white. I think it's construction. They started drilling here in the median. I don't know what they're looking for. Some maybe gold. See over there, they're doing something in the middle. But then this construction zone ends, so we're back to 110, 68 miles per hour. There's flashing light. Not sure why it's not yellow, but it's a school bus. And it's driving in the curb lane. Rattling over there behind my seat. I'll have to check it out when I stop.
In 2 kilometers, take exit 261 onto McKnight Boulevard.
Oh, we're catching up to that school bus. Nice. Thank you, Purelator.
Take the exit, then keep right onto McKnight Boulevard West.
I see Smart.
Lane to keep right onto McKnight Boulevard West.
The Smart car has round taillights. Yeah, see, after this, so this is McKnight. After McKnight, it always becomes heavy before Memorial. Oh, downtown looks beautiful today with some pink, green and white lights. I see some red.
In 2.5 kilometers, turn left onto John Lorry Boulevard Northwest.
I was here on my bike. There's a bike pathway right under this bridge. If the weather's good this Sunday, I really want to go and ride my bike probably last time before winter, because then it's gonna get cold and we might have some snow. Alright, let's see what the heck is rattling so bad there. So, hard hats. 2 plastic hard hats having fun. Making love to each other. So, Shell, $1.28.9 per liter. Yesterday I was at the Petro-Canada. Got a little bit of gas for my Jeep. It was $1.29, I think. $1.29.9. See over there? $1.28.9. Here we have Petro-Canada. Same. Yeah, normally if it's 2 stations at the same location, like here we have Esso, $1.28.9. See, when there's a bunch of stations at the same location, they try to match each other's price. No, so it's not the hot hat. Like that guy, the truck in the front. Why are we driving 30 kilometers an hour? what else can it be here? It's maybe the hitch. I have two hitches over there lying on the floor, and what they did is they removed the bench, and actually pretty handy, you know. We just have like a cargo area in there, so we can throw in some, you know, wheels, casters from Scaffolding, even some safety rails. Like, look at that guy, there's nobody in front of him. What the? Slow poke. Probably a new driver.
Left 2 lanes to turn onto John Laurie Boulevard Northwest. Turn left. Use the right lane to take a slight right turn onto 14th Street West. Take a slight right turn. At the next light, turn left. At the light, use the left 2 lanes to turn onto 14th Street Northwest. Turn left. In 3.5 kilometers, turn right onto 6th Avenue Northwest.
Now this is going to be exciting. So we're going south on 14th Street. Lots of lights here, but during rush hour this can be faster than Deerfoot Highway 2.
Red light, camera ahead.
Oh, actually the bench is here. They just lifted it up. And my Freightliner, the one I usually drive, is still in the shop. I thought they were doing oil change. Talked to the boss, he says no, they're doing annual inspection. And I think the truck has been gone a week. Because over here, when they do annual inspections, they have to take the wheels off. So annual inspections are expensive and they take a long time. I see a sea of red taillights and brake lights. That's not good. Somewhere near the window there. Once I stop, I'm definitely gonna fix that rattling. It's very distracting. Well, I'm almost there. Only 2.5 clicks to my destination. 1.5 miles. So we're getting close to 16th Avenue, Trans-Canada 1. Yeah, it's that bridge over there. So you have to go this way if you want to go west or east. But we're going under this overpass. Yeah, downtown is over there. Those two towers have green lights on the roof. So when is the new tower coming? They promised some luxury apartments and a hotel that would be taller than the existing buildings, but I don't see anything being built.
one, turn right.
Actually, I do see some cranes over there. Maybe that's where they're putting the new skyscraper.
At the light, turn right onto 6th Avenue Northwest.
Hey, yesterday I was at the gym and I see an older lady is walking around cleaning stuff, and she has this face kind of like similar to my face, and so I was just changing into my street boots after training, and she was nearby, so I look at her and I said, "Украина или Россия?" in Russian. "Ukraine or Russia?" And she answers in Russian. She says, "Ukraina." We had a nice chat. So she's new, hardly speaks any English, and that's the only job she was able to find, was being a cleaner at the gym. But it seems like a nice lady.
In 500 meters, turn left onto 18th Street Northwest.
Yeah, the speed limit here is 40 clicks an hour, 25 miles per hour. Oh, it's probably this school. Is it this one? No.
Turn left onto 18th Street Northwest. In 350 meters, the destination is on your right.
On my right. So it's not this school. This is Queen Elizabeth Elementary School. I probably should double check my address.
The destination is on your right. Arrived.
So that's the monster machine, the installation vacuum, and these are all they put those big hoses 6-inch wide in these barrels. So there's 4 barrels with 6-inch wide hoses, and the blue one is 4-inch And then there's some extenders. super ugly machine. Just picked up my machine, right? Put in the required info on the page, and turns out, like, this is not the first time. I'm really annoyed with Apple Maps and Google Maps. Basically, you know, when you put in the building number, right, it gives you all the fitting addresses, and it can be, and of course that's what actually I don't like as a driver, where it's all numbers, kind of like New York City, right? So first street, second street. But the problem is, it can be, like in my case, the address was on this 18th Avenue, and I'm pretty sure I clicked on 18th Avenue because there was also the same building on 18th Street, and then it can be 18th Street Northwest, Southeast, you know. I think it's so much more precise when each street has a unique name.
Turn left onto Center Street.
Like, seriously, this is not the first time where I'm pretty sure I'm putting in the correct address, and then maybe it changes the route to, you know, to save you 10 seconds. And instead of Avenue, that's where I ended up. I ended up on 18th Street Northwest, which is here, it's Center Avenue. So I was 18 streets over,
Right onto McKnight Boulevard Northeast.
you know, west. And so I looked on, I talked to the guy on the phone. He sent me a pin. For the location, and I remember I delivered this, but that time I didn't have any trouble finding the place. So I was 3 kilometers, but it took 9 minutes because of traffic. And so I apologized to the guys. I said, you know, I got to the wrong address. And so you saw the machine. I don't like when they do this, you know, like, what, you cannot wait 2 freaking seconds. Like, there's nobody behind me, right? Why do you have to turn right into me? And I don't know, can I trust her not to hit me, you know? So that's why they call it defensive driving, and that's why they pay us the big bucks. Now look at this guy. What's that? A flag or a bucket? Oh, it's a flag. It lost its color a long time ago. Oh yeah, and I found what was rattling in the back. Remember I said the fire extinguisher? And it was not the fire extinguisher, it was the bracket that holds the fire extinguisher, and it has a handle, you know, the one you use to tighten this thing, right? It's like a snap, kind of like a snap, you know, a binder, except this is a snap bracket use. And so that long handle was hitting the foundation where the safety strap is, because, you know, that used to be a seat, right? And so there's a strap safety thing in there. Like, is this guy nuts or what? He was just going into me. I hate buses, guys. That's one thing I hate. They're very slow. You cannot see anything behind them. You have to yield them. You have to yield to them all the time. And so yeah, I took out the fire extinguisher, put it behind those crates with our stuff, and found some safety vest that I put inside that bracket, and the noise disappeared, as you can see. Oh, a nice little peace officer here sitting in ambush, because it's a 30-kilometer zone. Yeah, he'll be sitting here for a very long time because the traffic is slow. So yeah, this is Center Street. That's what divides. See, this is 32nd Avenue Northeast, and over there it says 32nd Avenue Northwest. So this is what divides Calgary into Northwest and Northeast. Because it took me a while to figure this out, you know, and then actually somebody told me. Because our place is near the airport.
Turn right.
And our address is still northeast. I'm like, wait, why are we northeast? We are west of Deerfoot Trail. And the guy said, well, it's not. No, I think it was my dispatcher. He says, no, it's not the Deerfoot Trail that separates northwest from northeast. It's the Center Street, which is like super old design, so to speak, because the city grew up all over, much more towards the west, I think. Now let's see, is this guy gonna stop at the bus stop, or can I go around him?
At the light, turn right onto McKnight
Well,
Boulevard
there's
Northeast.
no going around this sucker. Oh, actually he's off, so I know where he's going. They have these huge transit yards, and one of them is close to my location, to my work. I see, this is where I was, remember? 7-Eleven, I was talking about gas prices, so I should have turned here. Instead I kept going 18 blocks or 18 streets to a different location. So if I was really in a rush, that's what I could have done. Went through the station. But we have to pass this guy because he'll be dragging his butt all the way to the airport, because I know exactly where he's going.
In 1.7 kilometers, turn left to merge onto Highway 2 North.
You see, now he's kicking ass. Well, sometimes there's cops here. The speed limit is 50. I saw them pull over a couple of cars here. Yeah, the other day one of these guys was driving, one of these buses was driving in our area, and the guy's literally doing 40 kilometers an hour, you know, like 25 miles an hour. And then I see in the front there's like two guys standing and one guy is driving, so he's a student. And all these buses, they run on, I think, what is it, the liquefied some kind of gas. They stopped using petrol or gasoline a long time ago, so they are on, it's not propane, I forgot what it is, but there's a sign in the back there, clean energy vehicle. But yeah, they do say these buses save, you know, the environment, because imagine all the people inside all the poor people inside the bus, they cannot afford a car. So there can be like 50 people in there, so that's like one bus instead of 50 cars. And he'll try to take the left lane, I guarantee it, because that's where the ramp, entrance ramp is to Highway 2 North. But he's not going in front of me. No freaking way. No, his turn signal is still not on. Where the heck is he going? So maybe he's not going to the terminal, maybe he's just going to the different route. Yeah, and I remember that's why these guys go on strike every year.
At the light, use the left lane to merge onto Highway 2 North.
They were saying that even though the hourly rate... Oh no, he did change, okay. So he changed lanes, he's in my lane now. So even though the hourly rate is pretty good, but the shift is broken into segments.
Turn left.
So let's say you work 8 to 8 a.m. to, I don't know, 6 p.m. But then you work for 3 hours, then you have to stop for 1 hour, then it restarts. It's just crazy. So you have to sit at the terminal for an hour. North on Deerfoot. Yeah, one thing I forgot to write down. My paperwork was asking about how much gas was left in this insulation vacuum, because it uses a little gas engine. And what are the hours? There's a little old school, kind of like old speedometer type of thing that shows you the hours.
In 6 kilometers, take exit 268 onto Country Hills Boulevard toward Delacour.
Oh, funny story with the inspection on my Dodge Durango. I probably had to submit that form 3 or 4 times. It would come back ineligible. Please resubmit. So the last one I did was this morning. So I got all my lights, you know, that funny light I got from China for review that I can use with the camera. Actually, it's pretty handy. It's very bright. And so I put the form on the black plastic mat near my desk, that, you know, plastic mat that I used to ride on my armchair, so that it doesn't scratch the hey buddy, the speed limit is 100 here. Oh, there's somebody in front of him. Okay. Yeah, finally they updated the speed limits, because this is no longer a construction site. So they changed the 80 to 100 much earlier when you go north. But people still drive like they were speeding when this was a construction zone. Now when it's no longer a construction zone, people still drive like 80, 85, you know, 90. See, like these guys over here. Now here it's 110, 68 miles per hour. I'm doing 100 and I'm passing somebody. Man, that's a lot of work. So just unloaded my second trip, which was quite a bunch of scaffolding. And you see like this garage behind me? Like they're building a house, and so the garage is not even yet framed, doesn't have doors. And when I call the guy, he says, can you bring it inside the house? You know, like 8 frames, 6 decks, a bunch of railings. And I said, no sir, we do curbside delivery. I bring it to the front of the house or to the back of the house, and then, you know, you move it wherever you need it to be moved. And this guy's here having fun demolishing a house. He's probably at the wrong address. And so a guy comes back from work like, wait, where's my house? Oh, we thought it was 1315. No, you idiot, this is 1317. You know, I'm just saying. But the guy said, okay, can you put it in the garage? He says, there's no doors, just come from the back alley. I said, okay. So as soon as I showed up, 1 minute later, a pickup truck showed up with what the heck? A pickup truck showed up with an excavator. Like, why are we not? Okay, I'm here. Wants me to go back, I guess. There's a school there. Regal Crescent. Now check out how this guy parked. That's what we call in Russian millimetrovщик. He has 2 inches from the bumper, between the front bumper and the rear bumper. And that's a nice looking Ram. Looks like it's not very old, but this one is a piece of, you know what, all rusted and missing lights, and rusty wheels. Alright, so where are we going here? So I'm guessing we cannot go left. Yeah, I turned off the volume, but this is like, basically this is the area near 16 Ave. And so yeah, the guy says, put it in the garage. So as soon as I parked there, those guys showed up with an excavator. And I thought they were passing to that other side where the big excavator was working. So I moved a little bit, and what they do is they stop in my spot and put their flashing lights on. And I'm like, holy, I go back to them, I said, guys, I need to drop scaffolding into this garage. Can you you have an excavator, right? So you don't have to be really close. You can just drive the machine, but you know, I have to carry everything here. And they hardly speak, no, they speak, probably they're Spanish speaking guys. So I said,
At the next light,
I'll just move so you can pass me and then go into my spot where I'm sitting right now. And the guy says, okay. And then he proceeds to drive past me ahead of me. Basically, he did not understand what I was saying. But anyway, so then loaded the excavator. While they were doing that, I unloaded all my scaffolding.
At the light, turn right onto 16th Avenue.
So 8 large frames, 6 decks, 4 safety rails. Like everything, of course, is metal. Everything is heavy. 8 casters, you know, 8 wheels. A bunch of safety rail, like 5-foot safety rail, 10-foot long safety rail. And outriggers, again, all metal, 32-inch outriggers. Basically, they have to go high, and so they use these outriggers. They're connected to the scaffolding for more stability. Oh shit! There's a sign that says "No turn on red." My bad. I did not see that one. Because I started turning and I remember there was something weird about this intersection with 16th Avenue. It's a russet road. Well, I hope this guy doesn't hit me. Oh, he seemed pretty cool. Can I go back? Oh, it's already green. Oh, okay. Now
In
we
about
can
1 kilometer, take a slight left turn.
And I checked my phone because they only gave me 1 delivery, no pickup. I check my phone. Sometimes they send me a message saying, oh, grab this after the delivery. When I checked, there's nothing. So I'm heading back and it says I'll be back at the shop at 7 minutes to 11, which is perfect because my typical lunch break I start at 11. But I can take it anywhere. And so normally what I do, let's say I find some fine cuisine restaurant like McDonald's. Actually, I don't go to McDonald's that often. I prefer, if I want a burger, I go to Dairy Queen, because their burgers are much, like their patties are much bigger. Of course, they're a bit more money, but I think it's a better value. Or I go to Subway.
At the light, take a slight left turn.
Because Subway has this vegetarian, they call them big veggie, and you can take it on flatbread, which I like. I like flatbread better than those buns from white bread. Totally useless. And they have these meatballs, like, man, of course they're pork, probably too many calories, but you know, you can get a foot-long flatbread with meatballs. It's unbelievable, because they add that sauce, you know, the sauce from meatballs. Mamma mia, you know? So I don't know. Oh, and Subway opens really early, and I like to go early because after 11, let's say 11:30, there's already too many people inside.
Take exit 268.
Well, I'm in a Freightliner and just picked up that scissor lift over there, like medium size. And when I got in the truck, you know, one of our drivers gave me a ride to this dealer. Right away I hear some hissing noise. Drove me crazy for like 5 minutes. You know, like, what's going on? And then I discovered that it's this couple over here under the seat. See this? Well, it's just a probably easy fix, but I don't know, it did not leak before. Now it's leaking because they changed, they were messing around here, and during the safety inspection I see that there was a sticker here, so they changed the safety belt. Yeah, there was this thing over here, seat belt, sorry, seat belt. They changed the seat belt, and then I see that one. I look inside that box, there's a brake pad. I'm thinking, why is there like a brand new brake pad? And then I realized that they probably had to change one for safety inspection on one side only, but they don't sell them as single, they sell them as pair. So my boss had to pay for the pair. And I look at the wheels, the right side wheel has some markings on the bolts, I'm guessing for, you know, retorquing or something. And the worst part is, as I started driving, whenever I hit the brakes, the truck pulls to the right. You know, like, if any of you guys are mechanics, now check this out. So I'm gonna take my hands off the steering wheel, and of course as soon as I'm moving, there's some moron behind me. Like, it's just like, what is this? Anyway, let me go to the right here. Yeah, there's some kind of a college in here. But now check this out. So we're moving at 8 kilometers an hour. So I'm gonna move my hands off the steering wheel and I'm gonna hit the brakes. See what happens?
At the stop sign, turn right onto
It's alive. Each time I hit the brakes, the steering wheel turns to the right. And that's exactly what happens when you're on the road and you hit your brakes. You have to compensate, pull to the left. So I just sent a lengthy message to our fleet manager. I said, not super happy with the truck. I said, first off, there's an air leak under the seat now in the coupler. But those you just cut them and reconnect them. But I don't want to mess with it myself. Let our guys in the shop fix it. That's like not serious. But this, the pulling to the right. So these guys, so they replaced only one side.
1 kilometer, turn left.
So basically now we have brand new brakes on the right side and old brakes on the left. Like, what kind of a safety inspection is this? But basically, you know what they're doing, right? So when you send the truck for an annual safety inspection, if something is off, something is basically qualifies as a violation, so they cannot give you this safety certificate I have over there. So they call you and they say, okay, we need to replace brakes on axle number 1, passenger side. We need to replace tires because the tread is too low, and we need to fix, you know, some lights or something. So that's how they do it, right? So then you pay them to fix it, they fix it, and then they stamp passed, and they give you that certificate. Because if I'm stopped at the scale somewhere, that's one of the first things they're gonna ask for is, okay, where's your safety certificate? And so I'm gonna give it to my boss so that they can make a copy, so we have a spare copy in case we lose the original, because that's a very important document, because the fines can be huge, you know, if they stop you and they don't have one.
28th Street Southeast, then take the first right onto Memorial Drive Southeast.
So now look at this. Now I'm hitting the brakes. See this? No, the funny thing is that before this inspection, the truck did not do this. Like, what kind of a, you know, people do basically they certify that your truck is safe. So, well, before the safety inspection, it was safer, you know, because this is not safe when I have to, you know, wrestle with it. Well, it doesn't pull too bad, but as you can see, right, like, this is not normal. And I hate to do this, because what happens is that, you know, if they have to send the truck back, let's say our guys cannot do it because we have 2 mechanics in there. One of them is actually certified mechanic, the other one is kind of like a helper. No, 2 guys help us, but one guy is a certified heavy-duty mechanic. So he probably could adjust it in like 5 minutes. But if they do have to send it back, I would, to the same guys who did this safety inspection, I would really hate that, because what happens is that then I don't have a truck, a Freightliner. So what they do is they make me hook up the trailer, like, and use a pickup truck, and that's of course a pain in the butt. First of all, the procedure of hooking by yourself with no camera in the back is very exciting. And secondly, like I mentioned before, the ramps on the back of that trailer, I don't know, are like 100 pounds each. So it's much more work. Let's say if they send me to pick up this scissor lift in a pickup truck and trailer, it will be much more work than with the Freightliner. You know, the Freightliner is easy, no ramps. You just have a remote, right? You drop your bed, tilt it, drive the machine on, put 2 chains on, put the bed back up, move it to the front, off you go. But yeah, and that leak is very, very loud. It just, you know, gets under my skin. And what's interesting, I tried to get all the air out from the seat, and that leak was still there. Of course, this also happens, by the way, this when you hit your brakes, this effect can be also caused by a low pressure on the right side in the tire. But they just did a safety inspection. I assume they checked the pressure. So it's more likely that it's the brakes, you know. But I love this truck. I love this truck. This is our older Freightliner, right? We have another one much newer than this, but I don't like that one. This one is faster, you know, more power. How do I know? Because I get to drive the other one sometimes, so I can compare. Like this one, you push the throttle, this thing flies like a rocket. Like seriously. And right now it has 319,663 kilometers. 320,000 kilometers. But I took good care of it. Whenever something broke, I asked the boss to fix it. Like there was a few things like that were really wrong with this truck when I joined the company, and nobody seemed to care because they didn't have a permanent driver. So I'm guessing worst case scenario now, when I told the fleet manager, I said I just got loaded, so heading back to the yard, ETA 1:10 p.m. So I guess he would say, okay, take the truck back to to the dealer. But there's always something's happening, you know. Like last time we asked, no, I think there was another company. These guys don't deal with hydraulics, but we use another dealer that can fix and you know, repair all the stuff on the hydraulic side, like for the bed, you know, to move, to tilt. And we gave him the truck because there was some kind of an issue. I forgot. Oh yeah, there was a leak. There was an air leak. It was losing pressure in the brake system. And we gave him the truck. When I finally got it back after like 2 weeks, I think it was even worse. And I started driving, and the truck lost all the pressure so fast that the emergency brakes applied, and they had to call a tow truck because the truck was, you know, dead. You could not move it. There's no pressure. It's not building up. And this thing is, if you don't have enough pressure, you cannot release this parking brake. Yeah, because spring brakes applied. Yeah, I'm glad that I don't have to deal with this, you know. Like, I'm glad that I don't own this truck, because I remember how much money I spent, you know, like on my truck. Even like Kenworth, you would think 2018 K-Warper T880, and something would always go wrong, and as usual it would not be covered by warranty. Oh no, that's not covered. Oh really? What's covered? Well, everything else but that one is not covered. So and everything, it's at least $500. You know, they never anything like $100, $50. It's always at least 500. Oh, I remember International. I was in Manitoba, I think, and it was, yeah, very cold winter, and I started the truck and something was wrong. I don't quite remember what. Something with the coolant, I think. Basically, yeah, this the thermostat got bad. The thermostat had to be replaced, so I took it to the local dealer, and this was that Yellow International. I took it to a dealer, and when the guy tried to take that piece out, he broke something, and now instead of $500, the repair to complete would be I forget, either $1,400 or $2,000. And I said, why am I paying for this? Your guy broke it. And they said, well, that often happens because there's a lot of corrosion in that area, and so I had to pay. I had to pay for that higher price because the mechanic with allegedly 18 years of experience broke something there when he tried to unscrew the thing. So yeah, I don't miss that part of trucking. And I'm back on the scaffolding detail. Holy moly. So I wanted to do Nordic walking after work today, but screw it, you know. I did a bunch of scaffolding today, like including, you know, coming unloading of this pretty big load again. So 6 frames, 5x5, 6 decks, 6 yellow braces, 10 feet long, and 8 casters or wheels. And I'm going somewhere like 22 kilometers to northwest of Calgary. Yeah, parked the truck, and as you know, as I was trying the brakes again when I was in the yard, like a slow speed, like I was doing, I don't know, 3 kilometers an hour, right? So barely moving, but I took the hands off the steering wheel, and I repeated that test I did at the shipper, right? That I showed you guys after I loaded the scissor lift, and now it seemed to disappear, you know. And by this time the fleet manager responded to my message that I said, you know, brakes need to be adjusted, that I sent earlier, and he says the truck has to go back to get everything fixed. And I'm like I mentioned, I don't want it to go back completely because there'll be another week and they'll put me on the trailer again, like truck and trailer with those heavy ramps. And I typed in the reply, I said, well, the brakes seem to be good now. I think they just needed to be broken, you know, something. And he typed back, he says, the brakes need to be burnished in. Burnished. Never heard that word before, so I went on Google, what does burnish mean? And it says polish. So why can you say polish? The brakes need to be polished. But I think they will get burnished or polished by themselves. You know, when you apply the brakes, right? Each time you apply, there'll be some polishing going on. I think it's not too bad, but that leak is still there, and the lights, the passenger side beacon light is still on like 50% operational. Like out of, let's say, 10 LED lights, only 5 are working. And I know I don't know what's with all our trucks recently, but like this truck used to drive so nice. Now as soon as you take your hands off the wheel, it starts pulling to the right. So truck 1 is like this, the older truck, the steering wheel. You know why that happens? What's wrong with this country? Slip seating. Slip seating. Because we don't have any, you know, trucks that we can call our own. Like they can tell me, okay, take the, you know, the newer Freightliner, or take your Freightliner, which I drive more often, the one I just brought back, or, you know, pickup truck. So you take any pickup truck that's available. So of course people don't care. It's kind of like a communist idea, you know, like a collective farm back in 1930s, right? When you grab any horse, any telega or cart that's available, and so you don't care too much about the maintenance because it's not yours.
Stay in the second lane from right.
You're not assigned to it, right? And so it's always better. Like, people usually hate this. Like, I remember one of the, you know, when companies are looking for drivers for semi trucks, one of the points they would use
The right lane to keep right onto Bennington Trail.
to make the job attractive is they would say no slip seating. Each driver gets his or her own truck, and that's the best. So I wish that our bosses would do the same here,
Right.
but
Then keep right onto Bennington Trail northwest.
it's their company. I guess they've been in
Use the
business
right lane to keep right onto Bennington Trail
for
northwest.
over 50 years. They know they should know what they're doing.
Keep right.
But I know definitely, like, if this was I think ideally, I think the best way to take care of trucks is when they are not company owned but operator owned, you know, like an owner operator. So let's say if this was my truck,
Keep right to merge onto
I
Highway
would definitely
201 west.
take a better care, because the company has so many expenses, right? So they try to save money. But like, that's the first thing with this truck I would do. I would go and do super thorough, like, look at this guy. Well, first off, we are speeding because I'm doing 64 in a 60 and that guy is doing 85 at least. So yeah, first thing I would do is super deep interior cleaning, and then I would go to a body shop and pay them to fix all these small scratches and stuff on the outside, just to make the truck look a bit more presentable.
In 1 kilometer, keep right to merge onto Highway 201 west.
And go check the alignment. Sometimes it can be just the wind, you know, or wrong tire pressure. But you see, like this, I don't have to steer. That's not good. But maybe the road is tilted here, so we'll try again on yeah, sometimes these trucks, they're super sensitive, you know, to this tilt, but that's again is an alignment issue, because the truck is supposed to stay straight even when the road is
Go past
tilted.
this light. Then use the right lane to keep right to merge onto Highway 201 west.
I always hate it when the vehicle has bad alignment. You know, on my trucks like Kenworth International, Mack, whenever there was a sign that something was off, I would take it for alignment. And of course, on a semi-truck, alignments are much more expensive. Like here, I did it at the Dodge dealer twice. Once for the Durango, once for the Compass. And it was $199 plus tax, so $200. But it did work. Like I did see the, you know, big improvement how the vehicle handles. Now that's an expensive trailer. See, it's one of those when they move expensive cars so they can afford a fancy trailer like that. Is that for cars? Oh no, I know what it is. It's kind of like a church near the airport, but what they do is they collect donations.
In about 11 kilometers, take exit 38 toward Nose Hill Drive.
Yeah, they collect donations, and then they send them to different churches, I guess. It says helping in Jesus' name, but wow, looks like a new truck. Not exactly new, but nice. K-Whopper W900. Alright, so we're going 10 clicks. Where's this guy going? Hey, but that's not the road. I guess he's lost. Do I need Calgary or did they say Saskatchewan? I'm confused. Too many drugs in the system. You see right away, half a kilometer I see flashing lights. What do? Change lanes. Now, do other people do this? Let's see, there's a guy in the front, a blue car in this lane. He's coming closer and closer to the slow-moving dump truck with flashing lights to indicate it's a slow-moving vehicle because it's a big mountain over here. Okay, he's changing lanes. He's taking. He's leaving. All right, the other guy the same. But how many times, I'm telling you, I've seen this. People will be driving like hypnotized by lights, and they don't look forward. And there's always traffic jams here on this big hill near Sarcy Trail because these guys cannot maintain a decent speed. And was he loaded? Probably. If he was empty, he would not drive like this. And so yeah, this truck, out of all the pickup truck, this is our best. Because you see this? Cruise control. That's one best part I like. Second part is hold on. Yeah, second part is the exhaust brakes. This thing has 2 levels of exhaust brakes. One, you push it once, it says full exhaust brake on, which means that as soon as I release the throttle, the exhaust brakes come on, which is not always very useful. And you push it second time, the sign says automatic exhaust brake on. So automatic, I take my foot off the throttle. Sometimes it applies, but most of the time it does not apply until I hit the brakes. And it's really handy. It's, you know, helps to decelerate. And then also it has, of course, the tow mode.
Stay in the left 3 lanes.
I love the tow mode because it stays longer in the lower gear for more torque. Very handy when you have a heavy load or you're pulling a heavy, like we have a couple of big generators that are pretty heavy. Or even the trailer, you know, when I'm hooked up to the trailer, and let's say I put a big scissor lift on it, like 7,000 pounds, and the trailer probably weighs, I don't know, 3, 4, 5,000 pounds. That's already a big load, so I would switch to the tow mode. I found the local news station here. It's AM 660. Very useful, you know, much better than listening to same songs all the time on the Virgin radio. But these guys repeat themselves, right? If you listen long enough, it's the same news. After like a couple of hours, they're the same news. And now, of course, the big news was that hurricane in Jamaica. And then there was something about Trump. Oh, Trump pardoned another criminal. And then he was filmed dancing, I think it was in Malaysia, during the reception. See, very windy today. And it's the kind of weather where, you know, because of the wind, it actually feels chilly outside. But when I was loading this scaffolding and then I had another jacket on, I got really hot because I have this shirt, you know, very warm shirt on top of a t-shirt. So like this, I'm, you know, kind of weather where you either hot or cold, And of course you have to be careful with windows. I always get a cold in the fall if I drive around with open windows. Alright, are we taking, yeah, this exit? Okay, Nose Hill Drive. I've been here many times.
Use the right lane to take exit 38 toward Nose Hill Drive.
Because there's a new community being built. You see the sign says Nose Hill Drive, exit 38, 400 meters. And the trick with this exit is that all of a sudden, at the bottom, there's a speed limit. Not just like a warning sign.
Take the exit.
Like this yellow sign says exit 50 kilometers an hour. That's just a warning, so that's a safe speed, right?
At the next light, turn right.
But then all of a sudden, at the very bottom of this hill, we see an interesting picture where there's an actual speed limit sign. It says 50 kilometers an hour. And so you gotta be careful here. If I was a cop, I would be sitting here
Turn right onto Nose Hill Drive Northwest.
behind the bend and cutting coupons, you know, writing tickets. Yeah, that's our Olympic Village on the other side there, some 5 kilometers away. Yeah, we're just turning here. I hope there's not too many cars in there, like, you know, construction guys, so that I don't have to carry it too far from the truck. Because for these guys,
3 kilometers at the roundabout, take the second exit onto Roman Boulevard Northwest.
this is one of our biggest customers for scaffolding. And for them, we deliver not just curbside, but in the garage. Sometimes there's no garage. Like last time I was delivering something, but for a different company, there's no garage. Like it's a separate building in the back, and they didn't tell us drop in the garage. Just drop in the front. So okay, I dropped all the scaffolding in the front. But for these guys, I know they always want it in the garage, which sometimes can be a problem because all these contractors, right, that working, like assuming it's a new build, so there'll be all these electricians, you know, framers, insulation guys, plumbers, and they're all like parking their cars, of course, 2 feet away from the house. There's a mini lake in here. You see, that's a bicycle path, or for walking or skating, roller skating. Oh, and there's another bike path right on the road. Like that lane at the curb, it says it has a picture of a bike.
At the roundabout, take the second exit onto Roman Boulevard Northwest.
Oh man. Well, at least the good news is that they didn't give me any pickups. So I'm just doing one delivery and then I'm driving 35 clicks back. 20 miles. Empty. And I'm getting paid the same. Uh-oh.
At the roundabout,
See?
take the second exit onto Roland Boulevard Northwest. Then take the first
Because
left
over
onto
here,
Mountain Gate
nobody
Northwest.
observes that speed, 50 kilometers an hour, like where the lake was. It's 50. And most people drive like 75, 80. And cops like that.
Turn left onto Rowley Gate Northwest. Then take the first left onto Rowley Way Northwest.
Or maybe the cop was just lonely and saw an attractive female driving a pickup truck, and he just stopped her under a pretense. You know, do you know why I stopped you? No? Oh shoot. I don't know either.
Turn left onto Rowley Way Northwest.
Well, it's spelled R-O-W-L-E-Y. But she says Raleigh. Oh shoot. I know where my house is. I see a huge truck with a crane and it unloads drywall panels. I guarantee that that's my house. No? Maybe not. Well, you see this monster Western Star with dual front drive. So this thing has 2 axles in the front.
The
And
destination is on your left. Arrived.
holy moly, this is probably mine. Because yeah, this scaffolding is for drywall, guys. Son of a gun. And they put this tape in there that you're not supposed to go in. Yeah, because see those panels over there? They can fall down at any minute. Now that's a job I wouldn't like to do. So the guy over there, he has a remote control, so he operates the crane, but then he has to pull those super heavy panels by hand. So everything gets unloaded by hand through the window.